All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about something huge, something a lot of us are feeling right now. And that's this growing gap between what we learn in school and what it actually takes to succeed out there in the real world.
For generations, this was the playbook. It was a simple promise, right? Our parents, their parents, they built their lives on this idea. You put in the hours, you get that piece of paper, and boom, a good, stable job is waiting for you.
But here's the million-dollar question. Does that still work? Because if you look around, really look around, you can see the cracks starting to show in that old foundation. The whole story is changing, and it's changing fast.
Take a look at this number, 30%. Let that sink in for a second. In some of the world's biggest economies, that's roughly the unemployment rate for recent graduates. One number that pretty much shatters that old promise and makes you ask, what on earth is going on?
So this isn't just a feeling or a hunch. To really get what's happening, you've got to look at the cold, hard numbers. And the data? Well, it tells a fascinating story. A story of two completely different job markets that are somehow existing at the exact same time.
Okay, so check this out. On one side of the chart, you've got that graduate unemployment number we just talked about, hovering around a pretty scary 30%. But then you look at the other side, workers with specific, hands-on, practical skills. Their unemployment is less than 5%. We're talking near full employment. The difference is just staggering. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, sure, but that can't be true for the big-name schools, right? Especially the fancy tech programs. Well, think again. The data is showing that even graduates from some really prestigious tech and engineering programs are seeing unemployment rates hitting as high as 40%. That brand-name degree just isn't the golden ticket it used to be. So you might be asking, where are these numbers even coming from? And that's a fair question. We're not just pulling these out of thin air. We're talking about official reports from places like the International Labor Organization, from national employment surveys, and even from the university's own placement data. This is real-world stuff. So if the data is this clear, the next big question has to be, why? Why is this happening? And the answer really comes down to this one big idea that economists call the skills mismatch. Let's break down what that actually means for you and me. See, on the one hand, a traditional degree is great for teaching you theory. But the problem is, the curriculum can be, well, kind of slow to catch up. For instance, a computer science program might spend a ton of time on the theory behind coding languages that, frankly, aren't in high demand anymore. Meanwhile, the actual job market is desperate for people who've mastered practical skills, like using AI tools to get things done. That's the mismatch. The market runs on skills that get results, not just on theory. Now, right as this gap was getting wider and wider, this massive new force just exploded onto the scene, and it's basically hitting the accelerator on this whole trend. You know what I'm talking about? Artificial intelligence. Now, it's so important that we get this right. AI, for the most part, is not a job eliminator, it's a task automator. It's really good at taking over the routine, predictable parts of a job. And what that does is it completely changes what employers are looking for. All of a sudden, the most valuable people are the ones with practical, adaptable skills who can work with these new tools. So here's the bottom line. This is the key takeaway. In a world where basic knowledge can be automated in a second, practical skills are your leverage. They're the thing that makes you valuable, the thing that lets you command a premium, instead of being replaced by technology. All right, enough about the problem. We've laid it all out. Now, let's flip the script and talk about the solution. What does it actually look like to win in this new economy? It all comes down to embracing the power of real, practical skills. Let me show you what I mean. So think about a technician who really masters something like electrical repair. That's a tangible skill that people will always need. It's a direct path to a solid, reliable income, and you don't need a 4-year degree to do it. It's about seeing a real-world problem and knowing how to fix it. Or take a logistics professional. In this global economy where everything is connected, the skill of managing a supply chain is absolutely critical. These people are literally the backbone of how we get anything from point A to point B. It's a vital, in-demand skill. And this example really brings it all together. Think about a freelancer, a writer, a designer, a marketer who learns how to use new AI tools to get better, faster results for their clients. They don't have a degree in AI, they just have the practical skill of using the tool. And by doing that, they're unlocking completely new ways to make a living.
By the way, if you want to learn how to apply these kinds of skills practically, I've structured it all out very clearly over at aiskillace.com. Okay, so this brings us to the most important part of this whole conversation. What can you do about it? Because the power to navigate this new world, it really is in your hands. It's about taking that next step and consciously building the future you want.
I really want you to let this idea sink in. A degree can be a great path. It is one path. But a set of practical skills that doesn't just open one door. It gives you a whole set of keys to unlock multiple possible futures, so you can adapt and thrive no matter what happens next. So let's just be real for a second. The job market has changed. It's a different game now. And the future isn't going to belong to the person with the fanciest degree on the wall. It's going to belong to the people who build real, tangible, adaptable skills.
And the great news is, this doesn't have to be some overwhelming journey. It really just comes down to 3 simple, powerful steps. 1, start learning practical skills that solve actual problems. 2, get comfortable adapting to new tools, especially AI. And 3, watch what happens. You won't just be surviving, you'll be thriving in your career. The job market is changing. Degrees alone are no longer enough. The future belongs to those who build real, adaptable skills. If you're serious about future-proofing your career with AI and practical skills, start today. Visit aiskillace.com and begin your transformation.